Hi, welcome.
Hello.
How are you?
I am doing great. Thank you for asking.
Glad to hear. Glad to hear. Can you please present yourself and tell us what you do?
My name's Clime. I'm CEO of Crowdholding. I'm from the United States, the state of Maine, where Stephen King is from. We're good at our we have great lobster and do good horror books, you know. Yeah, and I came over to Europe originally in the United States Peace Corps. So I was in the Republic of Moldova, learned the Romanian language, had to work directly with a small village's mayor, where we built development projects, what actually got me into being an entrepreneur in general. Because I got to try to figure out solutions while learning a language to make sustainable business models for them in their own village too. So it was quite exciting. And that brought me to Prague, which originally I was going to school for business management, but then dropped out to pursue Crowdholding, the company. And Crowdholding is a feedback application. So it is what we are is a reward-based forum. So you can publish these micro tasks in crypto as the reward. And our users give direct feedback and vote the best answers. So you basically, you crowdsource, you learn it, and then in a way you can sell it. Yeah.
Right. And then do you also have the feedback that is, let's say, genuine? Or you are also having kind of bot attack and something that is not really relative?
So we have a unique system. So right when actually you go as a new user, you see how the rewarding system works. And 30% of the reward actually goes to the voters, but you have to guess the top 50% of what the crowd thinks. So, and you don't see the other people's votes until the task expires. So what it does is it realistically actually ranks the feedback, and the people that might just spam and say hello don't get those votes. And then we also have community moderators who, when they join together, they can report a comment. So it's also a community effort. And so, yeah, that's what's really unique about the system, to accurately sort of crowdsource the feedback from the crowd on the product.
What was the biggest challenge you had to go through in order to create all this?
Well, in the early days, the idea came about in February 2016, and we were a little crazy. We were with this idea of having companies or startups offer a percentage of future revenue to the crowd. That's what we want. So I went around asking startups, like, would you give 1% to the public, and if they helped you and you became successful, they also would earn from it. They always say yes, but they were all scared that a VC company would never invest to do that. And another problem was it was tough for them to be very transparent, to be able to actually ask a crowd about internal or problems or issues they're trying to solve was difficult for them. And that's how I discovered the crypto industry. Because in this industry, you have to showcase a white paper, a whole business plan of your strategy, or you're not accepted in the community. So it's actually very crucial in this community to be very transparent in crypto. And that was fitting for exactly our niche we needed. And I personally believe this type of transparency we're seeing, especially with the millennial generation, this is going to move on to traditional markets too. And so I feel this is like the perfect spot for our application, and then can grow and scale, even moving from crypto, but also educating people to use it. You know, you do models, discount. I mean, you are saving money. Banks are taking big cuts when you do a transaction. So, yeah.
Which industry actually you're trying to disrupt?
Well, so in a way, how I like to tell people what we are in the crypto industry, we're like the product hunt of the crypto industry. And if you're familiar with product hunt, it's projects submit themselves, they place about it, and people, the community gives feedback, and even AngelList, even acquired product hunt, just because they're the fuel for the community for AngelList investments and actually deciding what projects to take on. And so I see ourselves positioning to be that Quora, even a Quora type style approach, but it's specifically for businesses. So that's crypto. but we're different than we're different from a product hunt because we're a reward-based form. Instead the money we're not taking that money. So when they publish, it actually goes to our users. We just take a small cut.
Yeah.
So it benefits the users, and the users are also getting assets. They're getting a token can be a utility, it can be an equity, it can be a revenue share. So in a way too, the community is working like sweat equity, if you know that term,
Yeah.
which is quite unique compared to what Product Hunt's doing. So that's how I see us, how we are positioned right now in the cryptocurrency
Why do you
industry.
think that's important?
It's why I think that's important is look at okay, you looked at the gold rush, right?
Yes.
And in a way, I've heard a lot. You've probably heard a lot of people comparing the crypto boom,
Yeah,
right,
with
as the
all
gold
kind
rush.
of, hysteria.
Well, we are as the biggest money makers in the gold rush. Were the ones building the shovels. They were the ones actually giving the tools to the people that were discovering it.
Yes.
So I see crowdholding as that shovel. We're giving the tool for the businesses to be able to find their use case, and that's what our goal is.
Wow, that sounds very actually very, very nice. And since we are gathered here in Prague for the Universe conference, I would like to ask you, what was the presentation that had the biggest impact for you, and what was the most exciting for you today?
Well, due to the fact Crowdholding is partnered with AE Ventures,
yes.
it was very exciting to see that they're scaling their operations, to seeing the different continents that they're going on, and so that sounds good news. So first off, you're like, okay, so AE is, they're doing okay. They have capital, so that, right? So that's good news. And it's exciting to see, because I also see ourselves growing with AE Ventures and supporting the new apps that will come with Eternity.
Yes, some of the apps that are developing
and so
in AE Ventures
it will be a great opportunity. So it's exciting to see their scaling. So we hope to continue our collaboration. Yeah.
And something curious I would like to know, who will have to follow in order to stay informed of the latest news from the blockchain space?
Oh, like who to I mean,
who to follow?
Who to follow? I mean, it's hard to say, right? My sources, usually like CCN, I'll go to Cointelegraph. I actually probably say I don't know, I hope people like CCM, but that's usually where I get some of my news. They have a lot of times a libertarian approach. I'm not a libertarian at heart, but some of that stuff is quite interesting of their views. So yeah, but at the same time, I like to do more of my deep research to discover businesses and what people are doing. It's not always actually public. In media.
Yes.
There's a lot of secrets out there people are working on, and I'm always, so there's other ways to do it. Maybe I won't even tell my secrets, but yeah. So yeah.
And what is your prediction for 2020?
So
what to expect from the blockchain space?
I still believe, especially when it comes to the dApp space, and maybe not many people will like to hear this, but I do believe there's going to be still more failures, definitely going to be happening. When you do comparisons of other industries that had a bubble, and then the internet industry, you had 95% of the companies fail, right? When it's a big cleanup. So I still believe we're in that cleanup right now. However, I do see core like blockchains. So even Eternity in the future, like as well as Bitcoin, will still have a continuous slow growth. But I do not believe we'll hit. I just don't think we'll hit numbers like Bitcoin had at 20,000, because when you looked, if you do compare how it took 15 years for the internet, the tech companies to get at the same level they were from 2000 when it popped.
Yes.
So 15 years. Now exponential technology growth is much faster. So could it be 2 years? Bitcoin hits the same, and we're at 10, but it's very volatile. Now, I will be surprised if we do see in 2020, if we go over 20,000 on Bitcoin. I'll be surprised.
You'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully there is a nice surprise for you.
But it's okay. Slow growth is good, because slow growth because we can't rely too much on speculation. Speculation doesn't last forever. So if we do see a slow growth through actually business use cases where people needing it, then that's true. So that's what we got a gun for. We shouldn't care about people trying to speculate, flood the market, because you know where that's gone, right? We learned from our mistakes with the bubble pop, right? Yeah.
Do you sometimes preach blockchain to your friends?
Oh, of course, of course.
How do they respond?
No, obviously they like it, you know, because I kind of always, I usually explain like the peer-to-peer, I give them the peer-to-peer model. It's just like handing a dollar to your friend, you know? You don't have to worry about someone in the middle like a bank to go, okay, I'll take my cut, right? And so that technology is unique. And I kind of tell them, you go back to Swift. It's a technology from the 70s, you know, and they have not updated it. So in a way, blockchain is that new technology. And because it cuts out the middleman, it's tough for right now banks to figure out what the hell to do, right? If they should utilize it or not, right? They need their revenue model, right? So it's going to be interesting, but yeah, I'm often telling them I never anymore, when someone asks me like, oh, what should I invest in? I do have to usually stay away from that, but I do tell them, like, what I do now is mostly recommend, if they are interested, you look at so if Bitcoin, cryptocurrency industry represents, I think it right now represents 1.5% of the financial market worldwide. Technically, if you do by the most conservative approach, you should always have 1.5% of your assets of the size of the industry to the global finance. Yeah. So that's a polite way, conservative way, but you should, yeah, because it's so volatile, you know, and it can keep it long term, you know, because even Bitcoin and, you know, is a deflationary currency. So a lot of the cryptocurrencies are deflationary. But yeah, so that's how I usually do it. You know, you should never, you know, I do believe 100% in the industry that's going to grow, but it is volatile. So, and people don't feel like, you know, if you can convince them to just leave it for 20 years, you know, in the top part. But yeah, yeah.
And the last question, you've been around quite a lot, apparently. Which is your favorite crypto city?
Crypto city.
Yes.
I would love to say Prague, but Prague had. I started a year and a half ago with another colleague, a blockchain hub. We did an incubator. We had a bunch of dApp projects, and it was just a workspace, and we all shared rent together, right? But I witnessed sharing all that when the rent that, you know, we had all the projects die, you know? So a lot of projects in Prague, a lot of the dApp scene, already seeing it now, also failed. But now when it comes to where I like the most, probably I would have to say Berlin. Could potentially be maybe my favorite crypto city. But right now I'm still exploring. I don't know what is my favorite.
To be discovered.
To be discovered, I would say. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ethan,
Thank you
for this interview.
All right.
See you around.
Thanks.